Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer here at beautiful Clocker's Corner at beautiful Santa Anita, getting set for a beautiful edition of the Grade 1 Breeders Cup Juvenile Fillies, going a mile and a 16th. It's carded as race number 6. We kick off a pick 4. Before we get started, remember that DRF has special player packages geared toward you. 3 separate tiers, all at wonderful prices, including Clocker Reports picks, all your favorite DRF handicapping products, must use if you're going to win big at the races this weekend. Let's take a look at the field for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, and there's one name that stands out above the rest. It's the number 7 Tamara, who won the Del Mar debutante last time out by a large margin with a big buyer. And hey, have you heard? She's a daughter of Beholder.
Yeah, she's got the pedigree. She's got the top trainer there. She's got 2 really nice wins so far to start her career. I guess you would call her beautiful as well, just like everything else that you led to in the Open there. Listen, she's obviously been really good. She's going to be a really short price in this race.
Let's take a look at this pace projector, and maybe it's not beautiful for Tamara trying 2 turns for the first time. She's expected to be forwardly placed, if not outright on the lead, stretching out off of 2 sprints, but there are some other speeds in here. Brightwork kind of conceded last time out, Mike, and I have a feeling that's not going to be the plan for her this time.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to get a better performance out of her, I guess they can't try to rate her this time. They just got to go and see if it makes a difference, because that was her 2-turn debut in the Alcibiades last time, and it was not good.
Shadalas last time out went to the lead in the Chandelier. Didn't exactly have to go fast to make the lead, but maybe all of a sudden they've realized that's her best running style. When she rated, she couldn't beat Tamara. Yeah,
she was no match for Tamara 2 starts back. Sprinting, she did make the lead last time, Dan. I didn't think it was a particularly fast pace, though. I feel like if they're going to go in this race, and maybe they will and maybe they won't, but if they do, I don't think the 6 is going to be on the lead.
If they do, the 1 Candida is a very dangerous late threat based on this win in the Alcibiades. Only her second lifetime start for Todd Pletcher. First time stretching out from a sprint race. Very nice eye-catching 4-wide move on the second turn into the short stretch. Didn't like that she didn't change leads, but she's still a baby.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, the failure to change leads in the stretch, I guess maybe is the worst part about the race, but everything else that she did was really, really good. She also ran really well first time out sprinting at Saratoga with a similar big move wide off the turn, took over late in that race. She's run really well in both of her start stands. She drew perfectly on the inside.
The number 2, Jody's Pride, is a perfect 2 for 2 in her career, including this victory in the off-turf matron stakes during the Belmont at the Big A meet, going 3/4 of a mile. In fact, both of her races have come in off-turf sprint races, so she's got to stretch out, she's got to step up in company. She's looked good.
Yeah, she really has. I mean, you can't knock what she's done. Obviously, they've tried to get her on grass for both of her races. Her pedigree says she's going to be a grass horse, but they've run her on dirt both times, and she's looked good winning both of those races. Up in class, out in distance, a much tougher spot for her here, but maybe she is this good.
I think the 3 Scalable's an interesting long shot for Todd Pletcher, despite being a maiden on the way in. Made her debut up at Saratoga, basically closing weekend, and to me just looked like a filly that needed a race. 3-4 wide throughout, little 1-paced in the stretch. Second time out in the Chandelier, I thought that was an inside speed favoring track. Now, she rode the good rail, but Chadalas got the jump on her. She was trying on the stretch.
Didn't think that pace was that fast. All in all, I don't think you can complain about the ride that Mike Smith gave this filly. She saved every inch. She got a rail run. She ran on at the end of the race. She did get second. She never looked like she was going to win. A step in the right direction, I would say. She does have the pedigree to stretch out the dam, a sister to Alabama CCA Oaks BC Distaff winner.
Where's My Ring is another maiden trying this year's edition of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Very close in both starts on dirt, including a race 2 starts back against Esprit Enchanté. And I have to be honest, she did a lot of the dirty work in that race, while the winner came from off of it. Last time out, they tried on turf against Dreamfire, who's quick and got the jump on her. She's got to obviously run a career best race, but I think there's something here.
Oh, yeah, turf to dirt here. I'm with you on that. I did think she ran pretty well 2 starts back. It was sprinting, but I think she showed that she can get a distance of ground last time. I mean, that race was basically dominated up close. She tried to close from off of it, and she made some ground.
Here's a filly by a red-hot first-crop sire, Omaha Beach. It's the 5 Omaha Girl, a perfect 2 for 2 on dirt. She won the Hallandale Beach going a 1-turn mile last time out at Gulfstream Park. This was one of those classic fast early, slow late races.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe she's one who, adds some fuel to the fire here as far as the pace goes. I mean, her debut, she was 1 to 5 in her debut day, but she was really green in winning that race, and it felt like she could do better. When they got her back to dirt last time, she did do better, but it was a slow race.
This is a big step up in class for her. The 6 is Chatelas, winner of the Grade 2 Chandelier last time out. Really nice ride to get this filly out of the gate well from the inside post, grabbed the rail, grabbed the lead. That's where you wanted to be, and she was able to keep on rolling in the lane to beat the runner-up Scalable. She was a nice-looking debut winner from off the pace.
Yeah.
It's nice to know we have versatility. The problem is the one time she tried the favorite, she got waxed.
Yeah, that is the problem with her. I'm with you. I thought her debut was pretty good, going 5.5. She ran fine, stretched out last time, even with a really easy trip, I thought. 2 back, though, I mean, it was not close with Tamara, who's back in here, obviously.
Tamara, 2 for 2, is going to be one of the marquee names in this year's 2-day Breeders' Cup extravaganza, with the lovely pedigree being by out of champion holder. Here's her win in the Del Mar debutante. She was stayed pretty much in the 4 path on the backstretch while pressing the pace of a horse that ended up finishing 7th, made the lead at the 5/16. It doesn't get any easier than this.
No, she just loomed up on the pace there the entire way, like it was just a matter of time before she decided to take over, opened a big lead around the turn, blasted that field through the stretch. The race came back fast. I mean, it's all right there on paper, Dan. The pedigree, the 2 fast races, she's looked really good doing it. She's got to stretch out here. Is it supposed to be a problem?
It might not be a problem if you just look at the pedigree, but I think there are some things that you have to consider. Were you surprised that she didn't step up and run 2 turns in the Chandelier as a final prep? Mandela's really bringing this filly in fresh. And then, of course, you've got the old Harvey Pack rule. Never play a favorite at a short price doing something for the first time, and this is 2 turns.
And she will be a really short price in this race. I agree with that. Those things are all concerns, most notably the failure to stretch out around 2 turns, I guess. I mean, it's not imperative to do it, but I would prefer to have seen him do it.
Esprit Enchant, the number 8, a winner last time out of a maiden special weight, going 6.5 rolling. So the rare wet track at Santa Anita, and this is the race we were talking about, where Where's My Ring was up close to that pretty fast pace, and Esprit Enchant was able to kick them down. It's been a useful race. The 4th place horse came back to graduate with a 77 Beyer speed figure. She's now got to stretch out. She's got a big pedigree.
I don't think the stretch out necessarily will work against her. I guess the real question is, how good is she? I personally like both of her races. I think she's run really well both times. They're asking a lot of her here, though.
Was the number 9 Bright Work exposed as merely a sprinter last time out? She won her first 4 races and she looked really good doing it, including the prestigious Grade 1 Spinaway closing weekend at Saratoga, where, listen, she took a challenge from the now injured Ways and Means, who I think is going to end up being pretty good if she comes back from her injury, and she was very game to win. In the Alcibiades, she didn't make the lead, but she was prompting a 16-1 shot. Allie's Beach, who's in this race, never got by her and looked real flat late.
Yeah, that's the real problem with her. I mean, I get it. They didn't get aggressive with her last time. Maybe it worked against her, although it's not like they were just sending her in those sprint races. She was fine tracking paces in those races, and they were much better performances. End of the day, Dan, she was bad last time, and it looked like the distance was the problem.
Accommodate Eva was good last time. First time blinkers for Dallas Stewart, gate to wire and of a restricted maiden special weight, one of those maiden auction maiden special weights last time out. Just got away with a really easy pace, almost a 23-second opening quarter.
Yeah, coming right into this off of a maiden win where she didn't really have to work that hard. It kind of feels like she just found the right field, but it was a step in the right direction here, Dan. We've seen Dallas Stewart have horses really outrun their odds in big spots along the way.
Got 2 horses coming up out of the sloppy track Frisette during the Belmont at the Big A meet. Of course, that's a very prestigious prep race on the East Coast. Life Talk finished 3rd behind Just FYI. That was coming on the heels of a win coming out of the chute at Saratoga at a mile. I have a feeling the 2 turns is going to benefit this filly. Unfortunately, the post isn't great, but I think she's tactical enough where she might be able to tuck in without losing too much ground.
That's kind of what I thought too. I mean, post 11 is not ideal, but at the price she's going to be, I'm just not going to care about it. I thought that she ran really well first time out. I think she hung that day. She was very green in there, but she did make a run into the race. I thought she really took a step forward winning the mile race at Saratoga. Big run off the turn and just buried that field. Listen, I'm not going to give her a big excuse for the Frisette. I didn't love the trip that she got, though, down on the rail behind horses for a long way, and then just getting out finished late. I'd give her the benefit of the doubt for that one.
And despite the gaudy Tomlinson rating, she does have the excuse of it being a wet track. The number 12 is Just FYI, the winner of the Frisette. And we're going to take a look at the Billboard-trained daughter of Justify, who sat a pretty good trip on the outside in this race. Mike took over, really appreciated the slop. It was her first time stretching out off a 3/4 of a mile win in the debut. We know Bill's not usually cranking him up first time out. This filly looks precocious. She looks talented. She just has a lousy post.
Yeah, another horse, if she had a better, a more interior post position, I probably would have her a lot higher in my pick stand. I like both of her races. She was in against a really well-met horse first time out and gunned her down. She won the Frazette, as we just saw, very easily. Stayed out in the clear, took over, and went on with it.
Allie's Beach finished third in the Alcibiades, but when you break the race down, she was the one that was being pushed by Bright Work, who was a much shorter price, and Bright Work never got by her. From this post position, I know Allie's Beach rated successfully in her career debut, and I really liked the way she came up the rail to win that day at Saratoga for Tom Amoss. But from this outside post, you tell Tyler, I'm gunning it to get to the front.
They got to make a decision right away, right? You either got to come out of there running and try to make the lead, or you just got to take a hold of her and take her back and see what happens. I don't think either one of them are very good options from post 13. We'll see what she does. I thought she ran fine in the Alcibiades last time. I didn't think she ran great. She's going to have to do better than that.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. I tried, Mike. I couldn't do it. I'm going to have to go with the favorite in here, Tamara. I think Candide is going to run very well from off the pace. I like where you're going, taking a shot with Life Talk, who's a little bit dirtied up, and I liked what she did second time out.
Yeah, those are all the reasons why I took her. And she's just going to be a big price in here, and I do think that she's pretty good if she can take a little step forward here. 11 and 12 are two horses I definitely want to use. They didn't do great at the draw. I'm going to try to beat Tamara. She'll probably win. I have Candide in there as well.
I'm really curious to see how Bright Work's going to run, if this is going to be her last time going two turns before we see her campaign next year as exclusively a sprinter. But this race on paper, it's all about Tamara. We'll see if we can pull off an upset. Mike's going to try to do it with Life Talk in the Juvenile Fillies.